We're gonna get into The Stand tonight. Season 1, episode 6, The Vigil, is it's finally happened, Robert. We were introduced in this series to Trash Can Man.
And I think it was the opening shot, and I was like, oh, and for some reason, it brought back when I first read the book. I'm like, oh, this is exactly how I kind of pictured it to look. Kind of overcast skies and these kind of huge kind of silos. Um, that lasted about 10 seconds, but
Yeah,
it
right. But it
it looked
worked.
it looked the way I thought it was supposed to.
I agree. I feel like it looked the part. Was that supposed to be Gary, Indiana?
I don't remember if
I
where
don't
they
think
said
they
it was.
mentioned it.
Yeah.
But in the book, he ended up first destroying parts of Gary, Indiana. And we're going to get into the episode. But Trash Can Man, we've spoken on this show. I think every time we reviewed The Stand, like, where is he?
Hmm.
And what's your initial thoughts of his entry in this? What do you make of the
Um,
character?
I guess I was a little concerned that he seemed like one, it was too fast, and any backstory was, I guess, supposed to be taken care of in that kind of 10-second flash of voiceovers and his mother and so forth, which wasn't quite enough for me. And then it seemed to be obviously in the book he's supposed to be kind of obviously mentally ill, but this one he kind of seems to be mentally disabled instead to me, which is kind of a strange choice. I assume that Ezra made, but I just you've seen him do many other roles. I just felt like he could have done this so much better.
I agree. He's a phenomenal actor, and he's young too. I think he's only like 28 or something like that. But yeah, I completely agree with you. I feel like when I was watching it, the character development of him, of the flashbacks of the abuse he took, was boiled down and mashed together in a 10-second montage, which was actually kind of confusing. If you never read the book or seen the 94 miniseries, you would think, oh, Flag was just throwing these images in his head because it was with him. And I don't know. I feel like they could have explored that more. Not
Yeah.
even a lot more, just a little bit more. And I agree with you. I always like from the book read Trash Can Man as more mentally ill and deranged than mentally challenged. And I felt like, yeah, they could have done less with him acting a little bit more mentally challenged because at that point it becomes more sad to me, and you kind of feel sorry for him
Hmm.
than, oh well, he's just a sicko that likes to blow stuff up, because it does take a lot of intelligence to rig explosives and detonation and time them uh, with by yourself with nobody else, that if you were just mentally challenged and you had these kind of issues, they could have expanded
Yeah.
more on that.
He did know how to turn the knob on the fireplace flame. And I was like, oh, all right. He must know fire.
My life for you. What was up with his clothes? He was like nude with just like a strap around him.
I kind of thought, I don't know Ezra that much, but I thought he probably want to do this completely nude is probably his vision, and this is the CBS version of completely nude.
Yeah, that's probably it. Because he started getting really touchy feely with Flag, and I felt like Ezra would have wanted to do more with that scene
Yeah. So
because he likes to push the envelope.
yeah, and Ezra, it's one of those I also think I'm like, oh, they could only afford him for 2 days, so that this is we're not going to get too much.
That's I think you're right. Yeah, because he's in all the superhero movies. He's
Yeah.
the Flash. Like he's in demand.
So and maybe he's wearing a little bit of a Road Warrior, apocalyptic Mad
Oh,
Max type of.
that could be it because it is Mad Max esque.
Hmm.
What if Mel Gibson was the Trash Can Man? And
Well,
well, my
not too
life for
far
you.
to leave.
Uh, the the Mother A in the woods. She in the last episode she left. They found the note. This episode there was a lot of complaining going on at Mother A's house of people resting their eyeballs,
Yeah.
and she
There
went
were-
into the woods and there was a showdown with her and Flag, where she's quoting the Bible saying, "Get behind me, Satan," and it's a good versus evil, and he kind of moves his nostril, and there's like this gust of wind. What do you make of that whole story, that plot line?
Well, a couple things. One, I felt like she was only just 50 yards away from the house at any one point.
Yeah,
Uh,
why were they I felt like that wasn't a long walk.
it didn't feel like it to me, but I had a Superman 2 flashback when Flag turns and kind of blows. And you
Yeah.
remember Superman 2, the three, Nan and Zod and Ursa blow the people down the street. I'm like, oh. And part of me was like, I get it. I mean, they can only do so much or whatever, but it just seemed kind of breezy.
It was a little breezy.
Yeah.
Richard
Nothing.
Donner was in the shadows.
Yeah. Nothing too much to kind of worry about. But I was just kind of like, what? I don't know.
What
That's
were
all
they
they could.
doing? Why was Joe out there looking? I get it. She mentioned um, the scene with Flag. She was like, "There's nowhere I can go. You can put me that he can't find me." And then Joe heard that because he's some kind of oracle or something.
Or
And
has Shining.
right, he has the shining. He's Danny Torrance, and he found her. Um, where they never showed her in this episode after he screamed. They didn't even show her then. Am I right?
I don't think so. Well, they found her obviously because they go over the talkies, and so I'm not sure.
And
Yeah,
she's
I don't.
okay. They said over the
Yeah, I don't think
talkies.
they really kind of show her again. I think they would have said something. So Joe has quite the high pitched scream. He's vying for Reggie the Reckless's scream there,
That was very high pitched.
and elongated.
Very. He had quite a set of pipes for a child. It's almost like it wasn't real.
Yeah. So
He what's that?
I kind of like Joe this episode. One because he talked. You know, he talked about
Yeah.
uh, the mommy Nadine and the real Nadine, and I was curious. I was trying to figure out why they chose Time Bandits to watch. Um,
I was gonna ask you what movie that was because it was such a weird movie for kids.
Time Bandits, yeah. So which is
Like
kind of about evil overtaking Earth. So maybe they're just kind of like that. But
maybe
is it a
Shrek
kids
2 would have been more appropriate.
Yeah, but
Time Bandits? Because I figured you would know what that is because you're
yeah,
such a
time
movie
you knew it.
guy.
Yeah, Time Bandits. And I saw it when I was 11 or whenever that came out. So Shelley Duvall's in it. Another kind of Stephen King.
Most famous for her role as Olive Oil in Popeye, of course.
Yes. And speaking of Shelley Duvall, Franny was kind of having some Shelley Duvall moments, flipping through the papers, uh, through
Yeah,
Harold's Manifesto.
what was going on there? That was very reminiscent to The Shining.
I kept looking. I probably somewhere probably in there is a no work and all play makes Harold a doughboy.
There was tons. Yeah, that's what you
Yeah.
wanted to see. That was definitely a nod. Am shocked that uh, he didn't try to hurt her. But I guess he loves her. So he, in his sick mind, he's going to reset the clocks, and they
Mhm.
can finally be together. I did think when Franny was locked up in the basement and she broke the glass to get out, there was a little shard of glass still sticking up here. I thought they were going to do something with her stomach because she's pregnant. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, that's too easy right there, and they didn't. So it was just coincidence.
Yeah. So yeah, I kind of worried about you worry about that too. I don't know if the older I get, the more I worry about glass and
Yeah, right.
it's
I'm
like, oh,
afraid of glass.
that's too much. So
It's too much.
I do like that they moved the bomb to Mother A's house, which I thought that's kind of a different that kind of worked because that's where everybody would be or would be kind of congregating. I don't know who put it in the piano though. I remember her dropping off the poster. Uh, she had it in the poster cylinder, and she just very blatantly like, let me just set this here.
Yeah, they never explained how it got rigged up in the piano.
Yeah.
Did
Uh,
did Nick Andros feel the bomb ticking? Is that what it was, or was that more of a sixth sense that he knew something was there?
I think there wasn't I think a scene not this past episode, but the it was up the front of the piano was up and it was down this time because that's where the bomb was at or something like that. So I thought he
Oh,
noticed that, but
you're right, Robert, because Mother Ray lifted up so the kids could see the
yeah,
keys being punched.
which didn't make sense at the time, and now it makes sense only for it because it's in the script. Would we be doing that?
Right.
But
That's it.
yeah,
Who did set that bomb up though? I felt like there were people there all day.
that's what. Yeah, and it was weird when Nadine dropped it off because if I was, people are like, "What's that?" You know, like
Yeah, what is that big poster there?
And if
And
it's a
why put
bomb,
it right there next to the door? I feel like that's very easy for someone to look at it and do it.
yeah, or probably just like open it up, or as people are kind of coming and going. So
Yeah.
maybe she did at one point, or maybe Harold came in and did it, or and that's why like, sometimes I'll be watching. I'm like, did I miss a scene? Did I miss something? But
Yes, I feel that same way. I watched the episode twice because I felt like I missed something. Like I gave it a rewatch the next day, and I was like, no, it's all there.
yeah,
I felt that way more with episode 5. I watched that like 3 times. I was like, there was stuff not matching up.
maybe they edited it in the wrong order or something.
Yeah.
But
The bomb though, at Mother A's house. Where was it in the novel? Was it at Stu's house?
it was somebody's house, and that's because they had a council meeting. Remember, they were the council members, and
Right.
so it was one of their houses, and it was done much better in the original miniseries because uh, Nick Andros was running to find it. They knew there was a bomb, and he was looking for it, and it resonated a little bit more because Harold is talking kind of like he does here, but Nick can't hear it, so he has no idea what anything
Right.
is even being said, and they kind of version to that a little bit here, but pretty
Oh,
much it was a good explosion. People flying. They spent
I
some money there.
I thought it was great, and I mean effects wise, and I thought the build up and the tension was amazing. Where Nick is looking down, and you just see the red light go on. That it's activated, and then Harold pulls it. And you see it in the distance. Like I thought they did a really good job with the effects and like the
Yeah,
tension, the build up. I think this was one of the better episodes, if not my favorite so far as showing as many characters as possible in different locations. They're not doing flashbacks anymore,
yeah.
really,
No, I don't think so at all. No,
which is great. Um, you mentioned you wrote down in our thread Nadine. You still think she has the best arc?
I think she does. I like that she was kind of a. I kind of questioned because she seemed to be wavering back and forth. She came to visit Larry, and then she took off and she took the batteries out of his walkie-talkie, and then obviously messed with his cycle and stuff like that. I don't know if she was doing it so he wouldn't go to the house and get blown up,
Yeah.
or if she was doing it just so she could get away.
I wonder about that because it's foreshadowed in the scene that she's starting to kind of regret what she's doing, but she's still committed because she's talking about like, oh, why would the kids go there? They've been through so much. The vigils before everybody died, like that scarred them. And Larry, she kind of like was flip flopping a little bit in his house,
Yeah.
uh, but she was committed to the cause. She's an
And
evil bitch. I agree, though. I think she has the best arc still, and she's the most complex. She's the
yeah.
most conflicted. She's not absolute on other side. She's kind of could go either way. It looks like, but
Yeah,
she still like
especially
owns it.
compared to like Franny and Stu, they're just kind of the goody goodies of the show.
Yeah, because if the stand never happened, if the plague never happened, and it was still Nadine, she would probably be a head case at that point. Like, you know what I mean? She'd probably
Yeah.
be like on drugs and all kinds of like antipsychotics. She would probably be a mess. But because of these circumstances, she's like true and
Yeah.
conflicted.
That so far she's the standout for me, which I was not expecting or wanting.
Yeah, she's good with Joe too. Um, he trusts. I still don't understand that whole thing, but it works. He trusts her, but he doesn't. He like he mentioned to Larry. There's good Nadine and mommy Nadine
And just Nadine.
and what
I think it's just Nadine and Mommy Nadine.
and mommy Nadine.
Yeah.
Nadine, right? So he knows that something's going on, but he's a very interesting character, Joe, because
Yeah.
there's obviously more there than you're seeing.
Yeah. So I like him. And that's probably the one flashback I wouldn't mind seeing, like how she and Joe actually met. Could have been something.
I think it would be great to like show more of that. I still wish they showed more of the opening, the first act,
Yeah.
like more of the characters build up. Not even so much flashbacks, but just I felt like that could have been 2 full episodes. Where at the end of the second one, I mean, it was 2 episodes, but it could have been more. It could have been all just the build up, not them currently at Hemmingford Home, and then end of episode 2 is when like they reach Hemingford home, and then they take it from there because, like we talked about before, they have the time to do that.
Yeah. Oh, and I think that's where they kind of dropped the ball, and that was everybody's kind of favorite part of the novel too. I think.
It was mine for sure. Yeah, like the plague and the whole buildup. You're being put in all these different backgrounds and watching society collapse, and you get a good feel for the character. Where it just didn't work, the jumping back and forth. Um, we Clifton Collins, the great Clifton Collins, great actor, played Bobby Terry in this, who
Yes.
screwed up by killing the judge.
Which
It's
we
a
also
wash.
yeah, we didn't see that either, but.
Now, why did that happen? That's something I thought I missed a scene of. I was like, what happened?
Same thing. We kind of have a build up where we see her in the motel, and part of me's like, why would you stay at the motel? I mean, maybe they were still open. I don't know.
Right.
But yeah, I was like, well, I guess she's gone. But
What happened?
I don't know. And so when I saw Clifton, I was like, oh, he would have made a better Lloyd to me.
Yes, he would. I agree. He kind of owns that authoritative character
Yeah.
and can still play a really good crazy guy.
Yeah.
I don't like Lloyd in this. He's a great actor. I don't buy it. He seems more like a party boy than he does in the novel, where he's like trying to show some kind of leadership.
Yeah, and he can't. I don't understand how Clifton Collins I can buy as Flag's right hand man, because I'm like, oh, he can do that. Lloyd just kind of seems to mess up, and
yeah, he just wants to get drunk.
yeah, kind of a Dumb and Dumber version of Lloyd.
Yeah, he's jealous too of trash. I do like that they show Flag how he takes these forms as the Crow. He's basically in this hotel room levitating and takes these other beings. Like they didn't really show that a lot in the '94 miniseries. They just kind of showed Flag showing up, and you're like, was he there? Is he not there? What's that?
My favorite line from him in this episode, probably because the way he screams, "You screwed it up."
Yeah,
which is I think is perfect for just the whole miniseries.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, you screwed it up,
Bobby Terry. You screwed it up. It's great because you don't know if he's joking or not. You're like, this is hilarious.
And as we talked about before we got on, he ruins his suite doors for no reason.
Yeah. Why does he do that? You have this perfect suite, and Bobby Terry tries to chain it up. You can get out of that other ways, and by using your telekinesis, and he just destroys his doors. Does that get fixed?
I'm sure.
Exposed? Do you go to another room? I don't know.
Lloyd probably has to fix it somehow and
right, Lloyd,
make it work. And so they have a kind of a knockdown, drag out, kind of a fight, I guess, in the elevator, which I'm not sure why there was such a fight, because the Flag doesn't really have to do too much. But everybody on the floor was kind of appalled. But I'm like, aren't they just watching the same stuff in the pit? Like,
yes,
beheaded and stuff like that. And so I'm not quite sure where everybody's kind of aghast. Maybe because Flag is doing it. I don't know.
I was going to ask you about that. I mean, they know Flag's evil, and like you said, they're watching these gladiating events where people are being ripped in two and beheaded every night and cheering and loving it, and then all of a sudden you see these people, they're like, oh my gosh, what is that? It's like, isn't this like, shouldn't you be cheering right now? Like, I felt like if they were cheering, you would get it.
Yeah.
But they were like shocked. Even the character we're going to talk about in a second was like, I'll fix this right away. She was very shocked. Like, get this guy up here. It's like, this is all you do is clean up blood and dead people.
Yeah. We saw that. We've been seeing that for a couple of weeks of how many dead bodies through the kind of the gladiator style arena they have. And that's so I thought, well, maybe, and that same thing, I thought, did I miss something else? Is there a reason that, I don't know.
I don't know what happened. I do think you should get one of those smiley face pins though and wear it at work on your suits. A little smiley face, but make it change. So like, did that change?
Depending where, yeah.
Yeah, but I was very shocked at, or just taken aback by how shocked people were at Flag. It's like, that's all you know. But in the book, I remember they talked about something to do with teeth. Like there was something to do with teeth and the way he Flag tortured him, and I felt like this was worse because he obviously removed his teeth and his nose and his eyes and all that, and basically his guts were hanging out. It was really graphic, and for me it was like the moment in this series that Flag really showed how scary he could be. Because before he was scary, but he was kind of just showing up
Yeah.
and changing the color of his eyes. Now it's like, oh no, he's a true demon. He ripped this guy's heart out.
So yeah, and I think is that what he was holding? I think.
Yeah, yeah, I think it was his heart.
And
Where can I find this moon man?
Oh yeah, so Fiona Dourif kind of let the cat out of the bag.
Yes, she's a good character in this.
So she might have made a better Julie as well, because she's kind of rascally, like.
I could see
Shawnee
that.
Smith.
Yeah, she could be. The Shawnee Smith in this one. Julie is her name?
Julie, I think. Yeah, I think it's the character's name.
She's annoying. She's just so like, she's just such a party girl, but just dumb, you know? Like Shawnee Smith owned it to where she had thoughts and like she owned her character. This one's just like she's using Lloyd obviously. She does I don't know. She's just annoying. I just don't like her.
I did like Tom Cullen hiding with the bodies because I think that kind of worked for me, and that's how he had to get out.
Yeah, and I gotta give him credit that character for a developmentally disabled man who can't read. He is very clutch at staying alive. He stayed alive before they found him. He took the know-how to hide within the bodies and get away. Like I'm liking him more and more, and I will always like. My name is Tom Cullen. I'm 40. I just like him. I don't like him as much as the guy at 94 from Coach, but he's good. And yeah, that scene with the bodies worked. I wanted to see more of that about how he escaped out of there.
They'll probably just move on. Like next time you'll see him, he'll just be walking into Boulder, and they'll be like, "Oh, I guess
he got out."
Yeah,
I think you're right. Yeah, that was scary though when he was down there and they were coming for him. I was like, "Good for you," because I wasn't ready to see like a showdown because he doesn't die there, but it would have been like too much to see that. I was glad that good prevailed in that situation.
But that felt like a real Stephen King moment to me.
Oh yeah, it was really good. I'm excited for the next. There's only 3 episodes left.
I think so. I think there's 9. Is there 9 total? I've seen 9 and I've seen 10, so I'm not sure what.
Oh, I hope it's 10.
Actual.
So where do they go from here? It's going to be Trash getting the nuke, and then they're going to have to send in Stu and everybody to Vegas. It's going to be Lauder's going to have to do his thing and disappear, and then they're going to have to Mother A's going to have them make their stand, right?
Yeah, Nadine's going to have to show up, and so it's one of those like when you're watching. I do this more when I'm watching a movie, like for the first time in the theater, and at a certain point I'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna get this on Blu-ray, I think. And then sometimes you'll be like, yeah, this is a non-Blu-ray buy, you know.
Right, yeah. You change the course on that.
Yeah,
we're not gonna do this.
This is a non-Blu-ray buy for me.
Yeah, I don't think I'll probably watch this again at some point in my life, but not anytime soon after it's over.
Yeah, a couple of years from now, you'll be like, well, maybe it was better than we thought, and then we'll watch it and we're like,
yeah. This would have been actually a series that I would like to binge watch it and get it out of the way in like 3 days, 4 days, or whatever, maybe a day, and then be done with it. But it's like a commitment every week. And
we have to now.
I mean, yeah, and I enjoy it. I'll see it through, but I think I walk away disappointed each week. Like I wanted more. Some episodes are better than others, and I care for some of the characters more than others. But I just feel like it doesn't hold up to the 94 as far as story and plot and everything, and acting and sequence.
Yes. Well, we'll wait and see next week to see if we have get closer to the big bang of a finish, or however kind of a new ending or I don't know if it's a new ending or just kind of a new coda
Yeah, yeah. I'm really curious to see how they play it out, though. So that's The Stand, everybody. Check it out on CBS All Access.